Hello, and welcome back to the Macro Gamer channel. My name is Mark Hassingham. Today we're going into week 42 of the Shield portfolio weekly numbers. It's officially named now. Well, it's always been, but it's officially named now. Protecting your assets. So we're going to go through, as we always do, every single week. So we have our portfolio net worth as of today, May 10th, 2025. It's at $530.59. You see all the slices of the pie. So this big one is gold, right? It's taking up such a large chunk, it's almost half. And this little small one here is Bitcoin, and like it sticks out the most because it's done quite well. So we'll get more into that. So we have our portfolio weekly data for week 42. So this is 1 week from starting on May 5th to ending May 10th. We have net cash flow of $0, so no cash deposited. We have a money-weighted rate of return of positive 2.05%, so a good week. Good comeback week after last week was down. We have a market gain of $5.80 over that week, and no dividends earned for this week, so good week. I don't know why it gets all cut off right here, probably over the weekend, but good week, but definitely good bounce back, especially in gold. And Bitcoin's done great. So now we have our portfolio monthly data for week 42, sorry. This is from April 10th to May 10th, so a whole month. We have a net cash flow of $30.20, so that's our $30 deposit right here on April 23rd. Every 3 weeks, auto deposit $30 because every week we auto deposit $10 into the cash account. Once the cash account exceeds $25, it then deposits it into the portfolio and allocates it based on our current weightings, which we will go through. Always gotta say that every week, so when they see these large spikes, it's not like performance based. This has nothing to do with performance right here. This is the cash deposit. This wavy pattern, this is the performance. So we had over the time period, a money weighted rate of return of 4.28%, positive 4.28. It's really good for the month. We have a market gain of $24.31. It's really good. And a dividend earned of 22 cents. That was a good month. It's like I said, last week had a lot of negative data because of the volatility. This week it's snapped back, it's positive. So doing good. We have our portfolio quarterly data for week 42. This is over 3 months. This is from February 10th to May 10th. And we have a net cash flow of $120.85. Those are going to be 4 $30 deposits. There's one here back on February 17th. There's one here back on like March 12th. There's one here around April 1st, April 2nd. Actually, that was tariff day. April 2nd, deposited money, and then Trump tariffed the world. BAM! Just fucking crashed. And then April, was it 22nd, 23rd? There was the 4th one there. So 4 deposits over those 3 months. Over that time period, we have a money-weighted rate of return of positive 3.16%. That's not bad. We have a market gain of $9.60 and dividend earned of 87 cents. So good quarter. The month was better, but good quarter. Then we have our all-time data. This goes back to inception, the beginning, the start of it all. July 21st, 2024, when we opened the portfolio with the initial $100 deposit, right? So that's from July 21st, 2024 to May 10th, 2025, which is today. Over that time period, we have a cash flow of $495.18. So you're going to have your initial deposit of $100. That's the first bit of cash flow. Then every 3rd week, a $30 deposit. So we have one. Every time you see these spikes up on the chart, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Right? 13 times 30, you get 390. Plus our initial $100 deposit, you get 490. The extra $5.18 is just the extra cash. Over that time period of less than 1 year, coming up on 1 year in 10 weeks though, we have a money-weighted rate of return of positive 13.01%. So we're back in double digits. Yes, that's all I want. I don't want 5 million% return. I just want to be back in double digits. 10% or higher. That's all I need. That's all this portfolio is designed to do. Not designed to be super rich, make lots of money. It's just make consistent money. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Right? So over that time period, pardon me, market gain, positive market gain of $35.41, and a dividend earned of $2.27. So those are all-time data since inception. You see the fucking tariff spike right there, the boop boop, right? We deposited, and then tariff said fuck the world, or Trump says fuck the world, and the tariff, and then boom, it went down. And then not too longer we had 90-day pause, right? So much fun. You all remember. All right, we have our portfolio weekly percentages for week 42. On the right here, we have our target weightings. I went bananas crazy with gold because I have it now at 45%. 45% with our GLD ETF. I've gone beyond my own personal threshold of what I wanted. First, it was I didn't want to go beyond 35%. Shit started getting bad. I was like, fuck it, put it at 35%. And now I'm like, I don't want it to go beyond 40%. And then after, like the very next week, I went from 35% to 45%, just went 10% up, like out of nowhere. And I was just like, man, I can't handle it right now. The market is so fucking crazy. So 45, almost half the portfolio right here in gold, 45% GLD ETF, right? Our commodities are at 15% with our USCI ETF. Our bonds are at 15% with our GOVI ETF. Our stocks are at 10% with our RSP ETF. Our US dollar is at 10% with our UUP ETF. And our Bitcoin is at 5% with our IBIT ETF. And Bitcoin is doing great. It's over 100,000 right now. It's back at its all-time high. We're going to see what happens. So for our weekly percentages for week 42, right, this is just 1 week's worth of data. We have gold up 2.97% for a market gain of $6.86. That is great. Great. Almost 3% 1 week. Wonderful. We have commodities at 2.63% for a market gain of $2.05. Also very good. See, I'm still speculative. I hear people say different things about tariffs, whether it's inflationary or deflationary. And I'm like, commodities are still kind of high. I see them coming down some, but they're all still relatively high. So I don't know what's going to happen, if it's going to be deflationary or inflationary. For me, so far, it's been inflationary. And then next, we have bonds, down 0.54% for a market loss of 42 pennies. Lost 42 pennies on bonds. Still a difficult one. Stocks up 0.39% for a market gain of 21 pennies. Woo, stocks. Barely did anything this week. US dollar up 0.49% for a market gain of 26 pennies. I hate the fact that the dollar's coming back because I reduced it from 15% to 10%. Swear to God, next fucking day it started going up. And it's been going up since. I literally picked the absolute bottom. Fucking horrible. It's alright though. I put it in gold, and gold's doing great. Bitcoin up 6.28% for market gain of $1.69. Nice. Good job, Bitcoin. In 1 week. In 1 week, it made $1.69 all on its little 5%. A little 5% allocation. Good job, Bitcoin. Now we have portfolio monthly percentages for weekly so try again. Portfolio monthly percentages for week 42. So this is from April 10th to May 10th, right? 1 month worth of data. We have gold up 6.31% for a market gain of $11.83. Look at that. Look at that. Up 3% for the week, up 6.3% for the month. Gold's doing great. That's why we have it so high. That's why it's just going to correct next week. Commodities up 4.42% for a market gain of $3.30. Also doing good. Is inflation really going away? Is it deflation? I don't know. Commodities still doing good. Bonds down 1.07% for a market loss of 84 pennies. Bonds. Fucking hate bonds. Been saying that pretty much since day one. Stocks up 4.64% for a market gain of $3.03. Now this is the turnaround we've seen in stocks. It really snapped back hard, but to me, I'm like, the momentum's too much. It can't be like the pandemic where they printed trillions of dollars and everyone was just buying shit. Like, we're not in that time period, so I don't see how stocks can keep coming back. US dollar down 2.66% for a market loss of $1.81. This is why I got rid of dollars. But then, of course, they started turning around right after I sold. And then Bitcoin, look at Bitcoin, up 24.84% for a market gain of $5.78. That little 5% all on its own got half, basically, of the 45% return that I got in gold. Look at that thing. That's crazy. Bitcoin doing good. Doing good. Highly volatile, though. Now we have our quarterly percentages for week 42. So this is what? February 10th to May 10th? March, April, May? Yeah. So 3 months. Gold up 15.38% for a market gain of $22.23. Doing great. Gold. See, everything else is red except for Bitcoin. Commodities down 0.12% for a meager loss of 10 pennies. So not too bad. Over 3 months, not too bad. Only down 0.12%. Bonds. We don't have a full quarter yet, so this number isn't exactly accurate. So we're going to refer to our charts. But for the data we have, which is a little over 2 months worth of data, it's down 2.87% for a market loss of $2. So probably about next week will be a full 3 months. So when we do quarterly updates on this GOVI ETF, we will actually have 3 months worth of data. Or we're not quite there yet. RSP down 4.47%. Stocks down $3.01. So stocks still not doing good over the quarter. They recovered for the month, but not the quarter. And then US dollar down 6.89% from market loss of $5.21. This was worse last week. Let's come back up since. And then Bitcoin up 11.31% for a market gain of $2.74. Good job, Bitcoin. Then we have our all-time data for week 42. So we've got gold at the tippity top, up 41.55% for a market gain of $34.88. Doing great. Commodities up 9.94% for a market gain of $4.67. Also doing great. Bonds, we're not even going to read because this is not correct, because we don't have all-time data for this GOVI ETF. We don't have 3 months worth of data yet. RSP, our stocks, down 5.14% for market loss of $2.19. So still overall down since we opened the portfolio. Then US dollar down 9.28% for market loss of $4.96. That one sucks. Fucking dollar. Fuck my own currency. And then Bitcoin down 71.40. I'm sorry, up. Read that wrong. Up 71.40% for market gain of $8.65. So good job, Bitcoin. Finally coming back. Position changes. So since portfolio inception on July 21st, 2024, these are all the times I've adjusted my position sizings. So whether it was, decreasing USCI, which is commodities, and increasing bonds, which was GOVT at the time, or now reversing a lot of that stuff. So I'm selling my dollars, buying gold, selling my stocks, buying gold. I traded 6 times in April. Look at 4/4/25, 4/7/25, 4/10/25, 4/14/25, and 2/4/30/2025. All right, April was volatile as fuck. Trump tariffed the world. Everything crashed. They said 90-day pause, and everything ripped. And everyone's like, I'm confused as fuck, and then it fell down again. And it was just, April's crazy. I hate April so much. It was such a bad month. When you see me trade so much in 1 month, that means it's a bad fucking month. I'm a long-term investor, so I'm trying to ride the trend from month to month. So to trade 6 times in 1 month is far too much. No transactions this week. Good. So far, May's not being as crazy. So we have our Illuvium staking dashboard for week 42. So currently we have 15 ILV staked for a market value of $256.36. And we have a current ILV price of $17.09. Woo! Pardon me. Still early on a Saturday. We have Illuvium vesting. The first of 2 pages for week 42. These are all my vestings. The very first one in July of 2024. It's opening up in 78 days. Getting close. This will be unlocked, which means I could technically withdraw this 1.32 ILV. I likely won't, because I'm going to keep it staked so I can get revenue distribution. But if the Illuvium token price starts ripping one day and just really starts going up, I might sell this and I'll take that profit, because I have all these other ones that are vested still that are locked up. right? Go to the second page, same thing. Our most recent one that we locked up was on April of this last month, April 2025. So it locks in 354 days. So it has the longest to unlock. You can see those little progression bars to kind of give you an idea. So that's our vesting. And then we have our revenue distribution for week 42. So far, no new revenue distribution, which completely sucks, but it is what it is. We've had 3 so far. We've claimed for a combined 0.024 ILV, which is a current market value of 41 cents. All right. And then no alluvium transactions this week, for week 42. So that is our that is our weekly numbers. So now we get into our charts. So we always start with gold. Got to zoom it out. Always got to zoom it out because we got to show what we're starting with. I'm going back to October of 2023. This uptrend, up. And then we broke out here in April 10th. Just boom, right? So I don't know. It's when it breaks out like this of this trend, there is no trend now. It's just, we kind of got this double top happening where it's like topped right here and it topped right here. If anything, it's making a slight little like kind of pattern like that. If I make it red, like it's making like a little red pattern right there. So it might hit this line and head down. It might go doot, come down. We don't know. I might break through that too. Maybe we'll just leave this line there for fun to see what happens. Bring it down a little bit. There you go. I want it to be on not on the wicks. Oh my god, freaking chart. I want it to be on the bars, not the wicks. There we go. That bar. So, see what happens. Maybe this does or does not mean something. But either way, October 23, just up and to the right, gold. Every fucking week I've done this fucking video. Up and to the right, gold, right? I wish I was 45% way back here when I started. Where's July 21? April, May, June, July. So right about here. This is where we started, right about here. Imagine if I just started at 45% from here. Would have been great. It's okay though. I don't want to have one position too big, even though that's exactly what's happening right now. But when all the other positions are crashing, like what the fuck can you do, So that's gold. Gold. Still strong gold. Commodities, USCI. Look at this spike back right here. Look at this spike back right there. Look at this little fucking, let me draw a little arrow. What the fuck's the arrow on this thing? Arrow. There you go. Look at that spike right there. Look at that spike. Actually, it's from the way. There you go. Look at that little spike. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. What the fuck is this? Commodities fucking ripped. Look at that candle. Right? Look at that candle. So this line, it kind of bounced and then just shot back up. Right? But commodities, we go back to, we get our fucking trend in July of 2022, still up and to the right. Still up and to the right. And again, it popped out of this trend. We hit this height on April 2nd. We all know what happened April 2nd, Tariff Day, or aka Liberation Day. And bam, crashed. Then on April 9th, we know what happened. We would have said 90-day pause, and it reversed and went bam, back up. Right? So choppiness, right? Choppiness. And the overall trend of these commodities is just up and to the right since the beginning of the COVID pandemic. So another great trend to be long, or to have been long. But as of right now, we're just waiting to see what fucking happens. I think there's a new UK deal, which who the fuck cares? I think the 3 big deals that matter are Canada, Mexico, and China. As an American, speaking as an American, those are our biggest trading partners. So, we do a deal with the UK, I'm just like, who cares, right? I don't have anything wrong with people from the UK. Love y'all, but I'm just like, I'm worried about the big 3 from my economy's perspective. So I'm just like, I don't see any real progress. Anyway, that's commodities. Boom, boom. Tariff day, 90-day pause. Tariff day, 90-day pause. You see that crazy V shape. Bonds. Fucking bonds. So, hit this bottom here, October 23, and it's been chopping up and down sideways. I brought down this line a little bit because I want it to be more even. I want to hit more peaks of these fucking, of these candles. But either way, it's still kind of continuing the same trend. So it's kind of consolidating around this bottom, though. Hasn't broke through the bottom. It's kind of consolidating around it. So we're going to see what happens if it bounces back up or not. But, rates relatively haven't changed too much. You know, they've dropped in sure volatile wise, but like they kind of returned back to where they're at. So I think we're like at 4.3 on the 10-year. Where are we? 10-year 4.38, so close. 4.38. So we've kind of been around that for a little while. But bonds, I don't know. I feel like when shit hits the fan, you know, bonds will go up. Like when we have this spike right here, like April 2nd, you know, where's April 2nd? Right about here. So this is like as bonds were rising April 2nd, right? And then April 9th, bonds were starting to pull back, and then Trump would, just kidding, 90-day pause, and then they fell, right? So whenever there's a big ass scare like that, I think bonds are going to go up. But we'll see. At the very least, they're in this kind of uptrend, right? So it's very a wide trade range, but it's at least fucking going in this uptrend. And then US dollar. So of course I sell right around here at this fucking bottom. Where's the 30th? April 30th. Yeah, right around here. Right around here. And then just whoop. We're right back. So of course, right? But ate all this loss. Let's look at the DXY because it's a better one. It doesn't have that ETF sell-off. So we pumped October 24th up to January 25th. And then from January 25th to April 25th, we dropped. All right, we pumped and then we dumped. And now we're starting to build back up this little pattern right here. All right, so of course I sold before this, right? Should have sold back up here, then bought back in here, but no. That would mean I'm smart, which I'm not. So remember, this is just the sell-off from when people liquidate their ETFs for the dividends. So it's not the best DXY correlation, but that's fine. But as of right now, I still keep these lines here because I have, from my perspective, no definable trend. So I'm just counting the peaks. I got a peak hit here, about here. You know, right around here, jumped around. Looks like it's coming up here. And then this one, I got a peak down here, or a bottom. A couple bottoms here. Then I hit a peak here. So at least a couple places where it's kind of bouncing around, but I'm not seeing a real trend yet. So still keep those lines there just because I don't know. But if it goes above this red, you know, then I'm looking, okay, is it going to go back above the green and get back above this trend again? We're going to see. It might bounce around in between. Who knows? The US dollars, though, has not been good. I think it's like fucking below 100. No, it's at 100. Yeah, it's at 100. So I don't know if 100, because it's a big round number, people are going to buy more of it or sell more of it. I don't know. Stock market loves big round numbers. Anything that's a big round number is just easy. Like 6,000 when we're at 6,000. People like love that number. So RSP, our equal ETF, going back to September 2022, up and to the right. We had this big sell-off in September 23, October 23, November 23, December 23. So September to December 23, we're below the trend. And then now, we fucking had a sell-off. Of course, on April 2nd, right? And then Liberation Day, after Liberation Day, April 9th, and they paused and whoop, right, went back up. Right? Like the manipulation is so adorable, it's funny. Like here's April 2nd, right here. And then just and then here's April 9th right here, and then just right? Just so fucking funny. But I don't man, like can this get back? Like can this get back in this trend? Like it's crazy. I don't think so. Like back in the day when it was the COVID pandemic, you know, we had the stimulus coming in. Now we got no, so we have the opposite of stimulus. We have high rates. Like we have high interest rates, high relative to like long-term history, but like currently we have high rates. You know, then we have tariffs on top of high rates. Then we have inflation we're still dealing with from, you know, a few years ago with the pandemic, which maybe it's coming down. I'm still waiting to see, right? That commodities, you know, commodities show me otherwise. Looks like they're still up, but I hear people say deflation might happen. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe people stop shopping and buying because inflation's bad, tariffs bad, rates are high. You know, there's uncertainty. You know, there's all these reasons not to be buying, but we'll see. But I would love to know, let's see where we at on S&P. I would love to know if this peak right here gets broken. So this is, we'll call it 5750. I should put a line on that. I'm gonna call it 57. Nope, I don't want that line. Whoops. I want a horizontal line. So we'll call it 57, 51, right there. So I want to see if this line gets broken, because this was the previous peak and we're like approaching it. So I'm gonna leave that there. We're gonna see what happens to it. But if it breaks it, you know, you got quite a drop to recover from to get back into here still. But maybe it bounces at this line, then it falls down. We'll see. I'm gonna leave that there. Let's see what happens. Let's get back to RSP. This would be like 175 on here, but I'm gonna leave it on there. But I don't know. I'm not optimistic. Long story short, I'm not optimistic. So we'll see what happens. IBIT, the fun one, Bitcoin. Look at Bitcoin. Look at this. Here's a previous all-time high. Look at it. Right at its all-time high. Right at its all-time high. Dude, Bitcoin right now is at 103,000. Look at it at the fucking red line though. The decade-long fucking trend line. Look at it. It's right fucking there. It's staring at it. It's like staring into its eyeballs. It's staring into its eyeballs. It's looking right at this fucking decade-long trend line. Look at this. Right? So we got 2017 peak. We got the two 2021 peaks. We got the end of the 2024 and the beginning of the 2025 peaks. And here we are about mid-2025, taking another run at it. We'll see what happens. Right? We'll see what happens. You know, that 5% position of mine is doing fucking great. Doing great right now. So it's in addition to gold helping me out, give my money back this week. Like I said, last week sucked. A lot of my numbers were red. All right, but that's what happens. Right? Not every week's a fucking win, you know. But the long-term goal for me is like from a year-over-year perspective, 10+ percent return. Right? The workable range would be 5% to 10%. Like every year, 5% to 10%. Unless it's like a hella bad year, like craziness happened, like one of those really just bad crashes and everything like that. Then I have to be like in the 0 to 5. I gotta try to be positive still. 5 to 10%, like the average, and then above average 10%. Anything above 10%. So right now I'm above that, and I'm less than 1 year. So I gotta just keep going with that. Just keep it above 10%. When I hit that 52-week mark, I want to be above 10%. That's all I fucking care about. Anyway, so decade-long trend line on Bitcoin. That's where I was at. That's where my thought process was. So it's right there. It's like touching it, bro. It's like shoving it. It's like, get out of the way, trend line. Just get out of the way. Fucking move. Right? It wants to break through it. Will it? I don't know. What if the stock market turns? Will Bitcoin keep going up? Because Bitcoin's kind of been fucking defiant for a little while now. It's been very defiant since right about here, April 10th, right after 90-day pause was announced. Boom, Bitcoin going up. Right? So we'll see what happens. Either way, it's been interesting. Glad to be back in the positive green, and glad to be back in the double-digit percentage from all time. So good on me. Anyway, that's week 42. Next week's going to be week 43, right? And we're going all the way to week 52 and beyond, right? And beyond. It's not going to stop. But man, once we hit that 1 year, then I feel like it's really going to come into focus, people, because you're going to see what I focus on. My year-over-year return. Like, that number is fucking groundbreaking. It's fucking fundamental to this portfolio. Right? The all-time is just all-time, you know, since inception. But every year, if I have my way, right, if I get what I want, I'll be greater than 10% every year till the day I fucking die. Realistically, I want to try to get to between 5 to 10%. And if it's a shit year, meaning things are crashing, you know, we're tariffing the world, inflation's happening, there's fucking crazy uncertainty in the market, you know, then I gotta try to be in the 0 to 5%. I gotta stay positive, right? Don't want to go negative. If I go negative, I'm like, fuck, you know, like it's a nightmare for me for the all time, or for the year-over-year return. So you're gonna see more of that after the 52nd week, which is gonna be in July. Right? That's when we hit the 1 year for this portfolio. Super excited. Anyways, as always, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or criticisms, let me know. And have a good day.